Hello everyone, good morning. Today we are talking about the secure digital transformation. And in our agenda, we will start with the digital adoption and how the worldwide is adopting the digital platforms and digital transformation for most of the organization and across the world. After that, we will focus a little bit about the typical digital transformation and the objectives of digital transformation. Then we will talk about the digital challenges from cybersecurity perspective. After that, we will introduce two of the best practices in securing the digital transformation. And finally, we will talk about one of the successful stories that has been done in digital transformation of one of our client inside. So digital adoption. Worldwide, we can see there is a huge adoption of the digital platforms. There are multiple and billions of users using the internet. There are billions of users of smartphone devices connected to our world today. A huge adoption for the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and there are huge numbers going every day toward that digital world. Most of the organization, they have introduced their programs and a huge transformation toward digital world. And in the last 20 years, the internet usage and the adoption of digital platforms increased significantly. And that adoption coming with its own challenges, either in the transformation or the usage of those digital platforms. And in Saudi Arabia, we have the similar. We have our ambitious plans toward achieving 2030, and we have a huge adoption of the e-services for all or most of the government services. There are national platforms. We can see Abshir for citizen, Sihhati for healthcare, and multiple of those platforms that is nationally adopted and used by the citizen and all national participants in the kingdom. And we can see the management of pandemic during the coronavirus. Tawakkalna introduced, and even the vaccination appointment coming through Sihhati, which is a digital platform introduced by the government. That adoption, you can see it in all of the services related to the government and even the private sector within the kingdom. So what is digital transformation? Digital transformation is the adoption of technology into an entity, process, product, people, and assets. And the main and major objectives of any digital transformation is to enhance the customer value and improve the efficiency of the digital adoption, and introduce digitally products and services, and enhancing the customer experience and best utilization of the assets. And the digital transformation, there are multiple key inputs, which is the best practices or the benchmark, the current status, the strategic objectives of the organization, and the survey of the customer experience. And we can see also the emerging technologies that could help the organization to enhance their digital adoption. And typically, the digital transformation starts with the vision, mission, the directions that is related to that organization, and the future customer experience digitized for a future of the customer experience. So here we can imagine what is our next or our future digital experience for our customers, and the target technology architecture, where we transform the customer experience or imagine customer experience to the technology architecture, and after that, the digital transformation roadmap itself, and finally, the execution of the digital transformation to achieve the digital objectives and the strategies. And one of the industries here is the musical industries. It starts with the analog product, where it was physically stored. Then it moves to the digital downloadable products. Nowadays, we have the digital streamline, and we don't know what is upcoming in that industry. With that adoption and with that huge adoption and transformation in the digital world, there are a huge threats from cybersecurity perspective. And those threats and challenges coming every day. And we can see increase in the cyber attacks, increase in the cyber threats, and a huge threat through that cybersecurity breaches happened. And we can hear about incidents almost every month happened across the world. So in the world, we have a lot of incidents happened. We can see the Ukrainian power grid in 2015, and the pipeline attack in US 2020, and the estimate of breaches in 2021 is 10.1 trillion as an estimated. In Saudi Arabia, we have the same. We all know the Sham'un attack, which is attack multiple government entity, have damage to a lot of computers and servers. The leakage of the document happened in one of the government entities. The attacks happened on the petroleum company as well. Those threats increased day by day, and it happened with that huge adoption of the digital platforms and digital transformation. So how to secure our digital platforms? And how we make sure that within that transformation happened, we are secured in that world. Today, we are going to talk about two of the practices to make sure that we are going to secure our digital world. First one is secure by design concept, and the second one, the DevSecOps in the software world. So secure by design. Secure by design, it's an integrated process to introduce security in each and all step of the process toward achieving the integrity, confidentiality, and availability. And it's always starting with establishment. So we establish our controls by creating the list of cybersecurity controls needed. Here in Saudi Arabia, we have the National Cybersecurity Authority introduced essential cybersecurity controls and the critical controls for critical systems and the cloud controls and other controls. We need to maintain and collect all those controls nationally. Globally, we have, for example, NIST framework. So we need also to take care of that framework known globally. So we establish the secure by design by collecting and creating the controls needed in terms of protecting our digital platforms and digital world. Then we implement those controls. We make sure that we are implementing those controls in a correct way. So we need to check with the related team, cybersecurity team, and other teams in the organization. After that, we measure our implementation. We make sure that our controls are really protecting our platforms and our infrastructure. After that, we keep maintaining the list. We keep maintaining those controls. We make sure if there is any control introduced, we take care of that. And if there is any update to any controls, we make sure that this list is getting updated, and so on. It's a continuous enhancement, continuous improvement to achieve our protection or our needed protection in secure by design. Second practice is DevSecOps. It's a very well-known for all of us related to the software, building software components. There is a DevOps. DevOps is creating or integrating the development of the software with the operation. So we maintain the automation, continuous implementation, continuous development, continuous building, and so on. So the main objectives of the DevOps, original DevOps, is the establishment or automation of establishment and environment, that's automation of the testing, automation of the development or deployment, control the process, and also make sure that the software monitoring is there and we are monitoring our software all the time. In DevSecOps, we are introducing the security aspect here in all steps or aspect of the process. So it's a secure establishment of the environment. And software testing is not only testing for bugs or software bugs. We are also testing the vulnerability and anything related to the cybersecurity. So we are doing the penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, cybersecurity in the testing, and secure deployment. We make sure that we are deploying our software component in a securely manner. And after that, we are not just monitoring our software from the incidents or the bugs. Also, we are monitoring the software from cybersecurity perspective to make sure there is no threat happened on our digital platforms, and secure control of the process. Now, finally, I'm going to show one of our successful cases. It is for one of the critical national infrastructure in logistics and transportation. There was a huge need for digital transformation. It is a focal point with thousands of transactions on a daily basis. And there was a significant need for business intelligence. There was a need for improvement in the operational backend systems, customer satisfaction. And when we start with that organization, we do a customer satisfaction survey, and it was very low actually, because even the automation of point of sales wasn't there. So imagine that customers or thousands of customers using that entity daily basis, and even the simplest digital enablement is not there. So we start with diagnosis of the current status and identify the gaps and the need. Then we build a roadmap with that entity. After that, we execute the digital transformation for this organization. We got a great experience. We increased the customer satisfaction. We enhanced the backend services. We enhanced the operations. So in the digital transformation, we have achieved a lot, and we will see in the last slide what we have achieved. This how the digital transformation initiatives looks like. It's across 6 themes. It starts with digital customer experience, digital core operation, digital backend. For example, here we are talking about the ARBs and the CRMs, which is serving the backend operations, and take the technology to the next level. And we here talk about the emerging technologies. Lastly, we are making that environment green environment as one of the themes. There was almost a 27 initiative in the roadmap, and thanks God we have achieved 80% in less than 2 years. It is a huge transformation happened in that entity. We have completed 100% of the RFPs. We managed the tendering, and we managed also 12 initiatives of that project to be completed, implemented, under operation. And the transformation is still going on. However, we can measure there or sense the customer satisfaction increase in that entity. And with that, I conclude my presentation today. Thank you, everyone, and it's open for any questions. Thank you. If you have any question, I'm happily here to answer you.
Any questions? Such a bashful crowd. I have a question. Although SITE was set up by an important public entity, my understanding is that you're very much a private institution. And first of all, comment upon that, and then even talk to us a little bit, everyone here, how your resources can be accessed.
Well, thank you for that question. Actually, we have here 2 aspects in SITE. We have our shareholder, which is a fully private entity, and we have the mandate, which is from government, to build the ecosystem of cybersecurity. And we are gladly here working side by side with the NCA, National Cybersecurity Authority. We are their technology arm. So all of our cybersecurity services through NCA, and also we could be approached through our sales, our marketing team, because we are a fully private entity, and we can provide, or we are providing actually our services to almost all the critical national infrastructure, private sector, and also the government entities.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions from the audience? I mean, I actually have one other, maybe last question. Training is such an important part, I think, of the mandate from site. I'd like to understand that better. How many people go through? How does that work? Great question, Richard. So in site, we are self-grown. We have more than 200 engineers taken in our program. That program intensive, long, 9 months. We have multiple programs, one in cybersecurity, and one in cloud computing, and one in secure by design. Imagine that 200 engineers inside graduated from that programs. Not that only. We have our national initiatives with NCA, National Cybersecurity Authority, to contribute in building the ecosystem of cybersecurity, to have or to introduce more engineers in the cybersecurity ecosystem and software development, secure by design, and cloud computing. And the third one, we have collaboration with colleagues, with the universities and colleges in Saudi Arabia to provide that program, which is ended by employment in site or other organizations. Dr. Abdullah, you remember you were saying this morning that he was taking your people over to site? My view is he's creating so many good new people, he should return the favor by sending all these new smart Saudi engineers over the customs. I agree with that. But on that, please join me in thanking Mr. Hamad this morning. Thank you.